Electrostatics, Laplace's equation, series on electromagnetic field theory, lecture number 1.32. In electrostatics, in other fields of engineering too, we come across certain problems where source distribution is not given. Instead, potential distribution over the periphery or boundary of the problem region is supplied, and we are asked to determine the field distribution within the problem region. This kind of problems are called boundary value problems. To solve boundary value problems, certain techniques got developed. One such technique is direct integration method. This method uses Poisson's law and also Laplace's equation. In the present session, our focus is on illustrating the solution procedure of certain boundary value problems by direct integration method with the help of Laplace's equation. As already mentioned, in electrostatics, a class of problems are there. They are known as boundary value problems. Here, charge distribution is not given or charge distribution is not available, but potential over certain region, boundary region is given. And we are asked to find out the field distribution in the problem region. For the complete solution, these problems are defined or specified by so-called boundary conditions or initial conditions. When the potential V at each and every point on the boundary of the problem region is specified, it is called Dirichlet boundary condition. When the rate of change of potential normal to boundary is specified, it is called Newman condition. The boundary condition, which is combination of above two, is called mixed boundary condition. Here the basic point is this: boundary value problems, they are usually solved with the help of Poisson's equation or Laplace's equation. Both these equations are differential equations. When differential equations are solved, first we get is general solution. General solution usually involves certain arbitrary constants. Their values requires to be fixed. Then we get particular solution or special solution applicable to the problem on hand. To fix the values to these arbitrary constants, we need certain boundary conditions or initial conditions. Different forms of boundary conditions are given. Sometimes Dirichlet boundary conditions are given, sometimes Newman boundary conditions are given, sometimes mixed boundary conditions are given or available. Dirichlet boundary condition means when potential V at each and every point on the boundary potential is given, then it is Dirichlet boundary condition. If change of potential normal to boundary is specified, then it is Newman condition. If a combination of these two is given, then mixed boundary condition. These conditions are, as already mentioned, they are useful to fix the values to the arbitrary constants that are there in the general solution of these two equations. In such situations, two equations, Poisson's law, Laplace's equations, are highly useful in solving boundary value problems. Poisson's law, Laplace's equation. Poisson's law is in the name of Denis Poisson, Simon Denis Poisson, a French mathematician and physicist. One of the 72 names adorned the Eiffel Tower. Coulomb's name is also there. Laplace's equation is in the name of Pierre Simon Marcus de Laplace, a French scholar with a profound contribution to the development of mathematics, statistics, physics, and astronomy. Laplace's transform, it is in the name of this great scientist. He formulated Laplace's equation, which we are going to see soon, and pioneered the Laplace's transform. In 1812, Poisson worked and found that Laplace's equation is valid only outside a solid, a limitation. Now we see what is Poisson's law, what is Laplace's equation. Poisson's law is given by del square V. V is potential minus rho. Rho means charge density, volume charge density. Epsilon is permittivity of the medium. Laplace's equation is del square V equal to 0. Notice when rho is 0, Poisson's law becomes Laplace's equation. How these two equations are derived? Before going to that, let us see these two equations involve del square. Del square is called Laplacian. Del is differential operator, three-dimensional differential operator, and square is there, so therefore it is second order differential operator. Now let us ponder a little over derivation. Del dot D is the rho. This is Gauss law. But D equal to epsilon E equal to minus grad V. So epsilon grad V, epsilon del dot minus grad V. Now if you take del inside, it becomes del square. Ultimately minus epsilon del square V equal to rho. It gives del square V equal to minus rho by epsilon. If we consider potential at a point where charge density is 0, it becomes 0. Laplace equation. Del square V equal to minus rho by epsilon is Poisson's equation, whereas 0 means it is Laplace's equation. A point charge q coulombs located at r equal to r naught can be represented by a volume charge with a density given by rho r equal to q delta r minus r naught. What is this charge density pertaining to point charges? Point charges are just charges. They don't have line charge density, they don't have surface charge density, they cannot have volume charge density. But here certain volume charge density is being attributed to point charge. Very soon you are going to see line charges are also attributed certain amount of volume charge density. Similarly, surface charges too. Why this? Actually they don't have, but we still give certain value, certain surface volume charge density to this charge distribution. The reason is Poisson's law involves rho, del square V equal to minus rho by epsilon. If the potential is given by point charge, if the potential is given by line charge, if the potential is given by the surface charge, then how to implement Poisson's equation for this kind of charge distributions? This is the problem. If, in other words, if we want to work with potentials given by point charge and line charge, surface charge, using Laplace's using Poisson's equation, then we have to attribute certain amount of volume charge density. Then only we will be able to apply or use Poisson's law. So for the sake of such convenience, point charge is attributed certain volume charge density with the help of delta function, impulse function. Similarly, line and surface charge distributions also. A line charge with the charge density lambda coulombs per meter, it can be attributed a volume charge density equal to lambda delta y delta z. Similarly, surface charge also. Surface charge with the density sigma coulombs per meter square can be attributed volume charge density equal to sigma delta z. Here delta is impulse function. Uniqueness theorem. What is this uniqueness theorem? Uniqueness theorem assures uniqueness of the solution obtained in boundary value problems using Laplace's law or Poisson's equation. This theorem has special importance in boundary value problems in assuring the uniqueness of their solutions. It states within some closed region, a solution to Laplace equation or Poisson equation for the potential function V is the only solution that satisfies the potential specified over the boundaries of the region. Thus, it ensures the uniqueness of the solution obtained by solving Laplace's law or Poisson's equation for a given boundary condition. Direct integration method falls in the category of boundary value problems. Some more methods are there, but direct integration method is the aspect that is under consideration right now in the present session. This method is limited to one-dimensional problems. Laplace's equation or Poisson's law, these are valid. These are three-dimensional equations, but their application to one-dimensional problems. That is direct integration method. Here a few configurations of conductors are examined to illustrate the utility of this method in estimating the potential distribution and consequently field intensity. We consider first two parallel plane plates. Two plates. One plate, second plate. One plate is over xy plane. We call it bottom plate. Another plate is parallel to the bottom plate but at a height of d above the bottom plate. This is second plate. Bottom plate is, let us say, at a potential of V naught. The upper plate is at a potential of V1. And we want field intensity in between these two plates. Between these two plates, there is no charge. Therefore, rho is 0. So, del square V becomes 0. Laplace's equation. Using this equation, now we are going to find out field intensity. Del square V is dou square V by dou Z square when applied to the present configuration, because voltage is varying along Z direction. There is no variation along X direction or no variation along Y direction. Therefore, dou by dou Y, dou by dou X becomes 0. Ultimately, del square V is dou square V by dou Z square. Laplace's equation, that's why it is 0. Now, this is second order partial differential equation. Solution is V equal to K1 Z plus K2. K1, K2 are arbitrary constants. Their values are to be fixed from the boundary conditions. Now, at Z equal to 0, we have bottom plate. Potential of the bottom plate is V naught. So, at Z equal to 0, V equal to V naught. Z equal to 0, V equal to V naught means K2 becomes V naught. K2 is V naught. Similarly, other boundary condition at Z equal to D, Z equal to D. Potential is V1 minus V naught. So, using this condition, K1 is V1 minus V0 by D. Ultimately, we have this expression V equal to V1 minus V0 by D into Z plus V0. So, V is available. From V, one can find E within no time. E equal to minus grad V. This grad V, it becomes dou V by dou Z. Because dou by dou X, dou by dou Y is 0 in the present configuration. Ultimately, we will be getting expression for field intensity like this. So, when potential of the plates are given, now we have field in between the plates. It is found using Laplace's equation. We consider another configuration, cylindrical shells. Coaxial cylindrical shells. Inner shell is at a potential V0. Another fellow is at a potential V1. In between these two shells here, we want field intensity. Here the problem exhibits cylindrical symmetry. So we solve this problem in cylindrical coordinate system. Del square V in cylindrical system is given by this expression, but potential variation is exclusively along rho direction, radial direction. No variation along phi direction, no variation along Z direction. So these two parts become 0. Ultimately, del square V becomes 1 by rho, dou by dou rho, dou V by dou rho equal to 0. This is differential equation. Solving this, we will be getting like this. V equal to K1 natural logarithm rho plus K2. K1, K2 are arbitrary constants. Using boundary conditions, one can fix the values of K1 and K2. Then V is available. From the V, minus grad V gives E, field intensity. Here again, grad V is to be done in cylindrical system. Ultimately, we have minus K1 by rho cap. So, point is, here also, potentials are given at the boundaries, and using Laplace's equation, we are able to find out field variation in between the cylinders. Now, let us suppose between these two cylinders, the region is filled with certain charge. In such case, to find field intensity, we have to use not Laplace's equation. We have to go for Poisson's equation. When rho is available, we have to go for Poisson's equation. Third one, last one is spherical shells. Two spherical shells, concentric spherical shells. One is at a potential of V0, another at a potential of V1. In between these two shells, what is the field intensity? As the problem is associated with spherical symmetry, we use spherical coordinate system. Del square V in spherical system becomes this lengthy expression, but V varies radially. In other directions, no variation. Therefore, these two become 0. Only first one, 1 by r square dou by r square dou v by d. Only this fellow remains equal to 0 is Laplace's equation in the present situation. And its solution is V equal to K1 R by K2. k1, k2 are arbitrary constants. Their values can be fixed from the boundary conditions that are available. Once V is available, E can be evaluated from grad V. Note here grad del is there. We have to use it with, or we have to use it in spherical system. It is minus dou V by dou R cap. Other two parts are also will be there. Parts will be there, but they are zero because V is varying only in radial direction. So ultimately E is minus K1 by R square R cap. So this is what I want to share with you regarding direct integration method of boundary value problems using Laplace's equation in electrostatics. Enough for now.